Jack Bennett sat quietly on a broken bench in a dimly lit park, clutching a tattered backpack. His face was weathered, his clothes layered and worn. To anyone passing by, he was just another homeless man, a shadow in a city that moved too fast to notice. What they didn't see were his sharp, calculating eyes. Jack was once a CIA operative, one of the best, but life after service had been unkind. Years ago, Jack lost everything. A failed mission cost him his team, and the guilt consumed him. He couldn't hold down a job or rebuild his life. His wife, Emily, tried to support him, but the weight of his pain pushed her away. Now Jack lived alone, blending into the background of a city that didn't care. This night seemed like any other. The streets were quieter than usual, with only the hum of distant traffic and the occasional clatter of a trash can. Jack sat, eating the last of a sandwich he had saved, when he heard footsteps. 3 young men walked into the park. They were street thugs: Chase, the leader with a hot temper, Tony, the wiry follower, and Dwayne, the muscle of the group. They spotted Jack sitting under a flickering street lamp. "Hey, old man," Chase called out, his voice dripping with mockery. "Got some spare cash for us?" Jack didn't respond. He took a slow sip of water, his hands steady. "I'm talking to you," Chase shouted, stepping closer. Tony and Dwayne laughed, egging him on. Jack finally looked up, his voice calm. "I don't have anything for you. Just keep moving." Chase didn't like being dismissed. "What'd you say? You think you're better than us, sitting there like you own the place?" Tony and Dwayne surrounded Jack, cutting off any escape. Chase grabbed Jack's backpack and yanked it away. "Let's see what you're hiding in here." "Don't," Jack said firmly, his tone low but commanding. But Chase wasn't listening. He dumped the bag's contents onto the ground: an old notebook, a few coins, a worn photo of a smiling woman, and a small folded knife. The sight of the knife made the gang laugh. "This your weapon, old man? What are you gonna do, carve up a turkey?" Dwayne jeered. Jack stood slowly, his height surprising them. "I don't want trouble. Walk away while you still can." Chase smirked, stepping closer. "You're in no position to make threats." He raised his fist. Before Chase could swing, Jack moved with lightning speed. He caught Chase's arm, twisted it, and pushed him back in one fluid motion. Chase stumbled, clutching his wrist in pain. Tony and Dwayne lunged at Jack, but it was over before it began. Jack sidestepped Dwayne's punch, sweeping his leg and sending him crashing to the ground. He spun toward Tony, disarming him of the knife he'd drawn and pinning him against a bench. Jack's movements were precise, efficient, too skilled for a man living on the streets. The gang, groaning on the ground, stared up at him in shock. "Who are you?" Chase muttered, his voice trembling. Jack picked up the photo from the ground, dusted it off, and tucked it back into his pocket. He didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed his backpack and started to walk away. "You better watch your back!" Chase shouted, trying to mask his fear. Jack didn't look back. The next few days, Jack stayed on high alert. He knew the type of men Chase and his friends were. They wouldn't let the humiliation go. His instincts were correct. One evening, as Jack returned to his usual spot in the park, he found his belongings scattered and burned. The photo of Emily was gone. Jack's heart sank. That photo was all he had left of her. Nearby, Chase and his gang watched from the shadows, their laughter echoing. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. Jack's blood boiled, but he knew better than to act out of anger. He needed a plan. That night, Jack stayed awake, replaying years of CIA training in his mind. He wasn't just a survivor, he was a strategist. The next day, Jack tracked the gang to an abandoned warehouse they used as a hangout. He observed from a distance, noting their patterns. This wasn't just about teaching them a lesson anymore. Jack needed to ensure they wouldn't harm anyone else. Under the cover of darkness, Jack infiltrated the warehouse. Using stealth and improvisation, he disabled their motorcycles, cut the power, and planted small distractions to disorient them. As the gang stumbled around in the dark, Jack's voice cut through the silence. "You wanted to know who I am." Chase spun around, panicking. "Show yourself." Jack stepped into the dim light of a flickering flashlight. "I'm someone who's seen more than you can imagine. and I've already given you one chance to walk away." The gang charged, but Jack was ready. Using traps he'd set earlier, he quickly subdued them one by one. When it was over, Chase was left on his knees, staring up at Jack. "Take your friends," Jack said coldly. "Leave this city, and never come back." After the gang fled, Jack found the burned remains of his photo in the warehouse. His heart ached, but he felt a strange sense of peace. He had protected himself and others, proving that even after all he'd lost, he could still make a difference. As Jack walked back to the park, a young woman approached him. She was holding a blanket and a cup of coffee. "I see you here every night," she said softly. "I thought you might need these." Jack accepted the gesture, his voice quiet. "Thank you." In that moment, Jack realized he wasn't invisible. There were still good people in the world, and maybe, just maybe, he could find a way to reconnect with them. Jack's story wasn't just about survival, it was about resilience. Life had knocked him down, but he still stood tall, refusing to be defined by his past. And in his quiet, unassuming way, he reminded the world that even the forgotten have a strength worth remembering. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.